Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Arc. I'm Talia Goodman, as always, here with my co-host Genesis Bryant. Genesis, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Been able to watch some good basketball coming up on conference play and just excited about this year.
You've been everywhere. You're racking up those airfare miles right now because you are all over the country calling games. I've been listening. You're doing a great job. I'm loving it. Like you've become one of my favorites to listen to. So I'm really enjoying it.
Well, I appreciate that. Just called Illinois, Indiana, then the Penn State, Arizona State, now calling Florida State on Sunday. So get a dip a dab of every kind of conference. So it's been cool.
You know what? You've had some blowouts, but they've gone kind of the opposite as expected. So
Yeah,
it's been fun. Like they've been fun games, even though they've been blowouts, because they've been a little bit of unexpected blowouts.
exactly.
So it can be fun. But today we're going to talk about a conference that you just called a game with a team there. We're going to talk about the Big 12. And I want to do this. We're going to talk about all the conferences, don't worry. But today I want to talk about the Big 12, not only because, conference play is approaching, right? They also have four teams that are still undefeated, one of which just had a big win last night, Iowa State. But I want to talk about them because I feel like what we talk about on a daily basis is a lot of SEC, it's a lot of Big Ten, but the Big 12 is super deep. Like there are a lot of teams who are fighting for tournament spots. There's a few locks. So I want to get into it. What's been your kind of first impression this year of the Big 12, Genesis?
I think it's definitely grew. You add in some of those different teams and just the parity around, first of all, women's college basketball, also in the Big 12. I think it's been a conference that people have oftentimes overlooked the past couple of years. You have your powerhouse SEC and Big 10, but I think the Big 12 is sneaking up and catching some people by surprise.
It totally is. And it's been really fun. I've been watching a lot of Big 12 basketball and really enjoying it. So it's
Mhm.
been very fun. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a Big 12 breakdown. We're going to break down where the league stands as of the date is December 11th. So anything tonight or past that we don't know about yet. But everything before this, we're going to break down kind of in a tier system. And Genesis, I don't know if you are as active on YouTube as I am, but I watch a lot of YouTubers. I wish we had this. Have you ever seen those YouTubers with the tier system where they have like the actual system and you put them in? We need to figure that out for the next.
I haven't. I haven't.
I'm watching a lot of like book videos and they put them in the tiers. So I'm
Got
gonna
you.
figure that out maybe for next time and we can do a little more technologically advanced here.
Upgrade a little bit. I see you.
Yeah, but for now, you just get us putting them into tiers of kind of where they stand right now in terms of postseason hopes, in terms of what we're seeing on the court, and in terms of potential. And you can't talk about the Big 12 without talking about Iowa State, who just had a really, really big win over Iowa a couple days ago. And so to start off the podcast, I'm going to bring in a really great guest that is going to break it down with me, and that is Iowa State head coach Bill Fennelly. All right, let's welcome in our guest of the day, Bill Fennelly, Iowa State. You guys had a heck of a win the other day over Iowa. Not only, a really good resume win for you guys, but a good win. It's a rivalry win, a rivalry that's one of the best in the sport as I see it. What does a win like that do for your team going forward?
Oh, it does a lot. It was a great game. Two really good teams, tremendous environment. We had a phenomenal crowd, ESPN, great showcase. Tell not just for our team and Iowa, but for the sport, I think. And it goes a long way. Obviously, what I told our players before the game. It's one of the best teams that will play all year. What we do well against Iowa, I think we can do well against a lot of people, and what we don't do well, we better fix. And because they're going to expose it. So it was a great game. Both teams played as hard as they could, and the Hilton Magic came through for us. So a big win for us.
Well, let's start with what you did well then. What would you assess as kind of what were you most proud of in your group's performance?
No, I thought defensively we were really good. They're a hard team to defend. They run a lot of good stuff. I thought we were really locked into a scouting report. We gave up some silly shots at the end of quarters that we need to clean up. But defensively, we were good. We rebounded the ball well. And then offensively, we only turned the ball. We had 22 assists, 12 turnovers. Obviously, we did a great job of getting the ball to Audi and create some space for her. And Addie, was really good as well. So it was one of those games that I thought even the little stuff that we talked about, like we didn't give up any points on inbounds plays. We didn't miss a free throw block out. The boring stuff that fans don't want to hear, but coaches really love. And I thought we were really good in those situations.
When we as the media talk about you guys, we can't not talk about Audie, right? Like, she's been one of my favorite players to watch for years now.
Yes,
I
you
love
were
watching.
you were early on that wagon.
I was early on that wagon. I love her. I love the way she plays. I love seeing how she's expanding her game and her role for you guys this year. And I love hearing about your relationship with her because I know it's deep and it's been there for a long time.
Yep.
How has that relationship kind of expanded, and how would you kind of describe your relationship with her?
No, your Audie and I's relationship has grown a lot. Not just coach player, but I think, one of the things we have in common is we both lost our fathers. And both of our fathers were really, really influential. And I was blessed that my father lived, actually, he passed 6 years ago, the day after the Iowa game. And so he always loved that game. Audie's father loved watching Iowa State and Iowa play when he was growing up. So that's kind of been our little thing that maybe is a little unique because most of the players on our team it's a blessing they have their parents, both of them. So that's probably part of it. And then, I think the other thing is Audie is a very mature kid. She's not afraid to question the coach in a nice way, and she listens. She calls me boss man, which I don't know where she gets that from, but she, we really understand that. I understand I have to coach better for her, and she understands that what we're trying to do is not only what's best for her but for our team. And what I've told her is all the great players that have, whether they played at Iowa State or anywhere, they put up numbers, but they win.
Yeah.
And the greatest players in our game are people that are connected with winning teams. And that's why I try and convince Audie, not convince, but share with her that everything we're doing is to facilitate our success as a group, which will lead to even more success for her. And I think that's been proven so far.
Well, and the crazy part, like you say, I was early on her. You were the earliest on her, right? Like you
Pretty early.
almost like it's crazy to say looking at her now, but you almost like took a chance on her. She was playing for these lesser AAU teams, maybe.
Right.
Not a lot of people were paying her attention, and you did. You saw the potential. How much has it impressed you in the way that she's been able to grow and expand her game this year and a little bit last year as well?
No, I think it's been as big a growth as certainly any player I've ever coached, and one of the biggest growths I think of anyone, any player. I mean, you talk about small town Iowa kid, not like you said, not on the main AAU circuit. People question a lot of things about her, but they didn't know who she was as a person. She's got a big heart. She wants to be good. She has a very small tattoo on her arm that says growth. That's her word. Like every day it's about growth. Um, but she's got great hands and great feet.
Yeah.
And I think as a post player, if you think about can I catch it and can I facilitate positioning, that helps a lot. And she was a great shot put discus thrower in high school, so that hand-eye coordination goes together too. So, and a lot of it is, my staff's done a great job working with her daily. Our strength and conditioning people, it's been a lot of people that have really built and invested in her. And I've seen her grow so much, and it's hard to believe she's only played 11 games in her junior year in college. So hopefully there's still room to keep going.
And you guys have a ton of talent on your team, but she's one half of what I call your dynamic duo, right? Which is her and
Right.
Addie Brown. The two
Right.
of them together, so much fun to watch. Addie, I still don't think gets enough attention for what she does, and especially what she's been able to do this year and what we've seen from her game. And in this landscape, it's rare to have two players of their talent level and keep them for this long.
Yeah.
It just is, which is weird to say, but in this
Yeah.
landscape, it's weird. What do you feel like that says about, this team as a whole and kind of the culture that you've been able to build there?
Well, I think both of them, and you're right about Addie. She doesn't get the attention she deserves. It's the old Batman and Robin, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen for all you older listeners. She's so skilled. She does a lot of great things. She's a prof. I don't. Rebecca Loba did our game the other night, and I said, "There's no question, Addie Brown in my mind's a pro. She can do everything on a basketball court. She's cerebral. She knows what she wants to do. Her and Audie really get along great. They play well off of each other, which is great. And but they came in together. They committed literally, weeks apart, and they've been connected ever since. And I think, tell you the big thing is they know how important they are to Iowa State. They know their role here. They like the environment. I think they're very connected to their teammates. Um, it checks off every single box. Maybe not the box that you take to the bank as much as other places, but I think their quality of life is pretty good, and I think they're smart enough. And the other thing I would say is they have phenomenal parents. They're grounded. They get it. They've been taught from a young age that there's certain things that are important in life, and a lot of that is how you're treated, how people take care of you. And those two really do appreciate that. And I think they understand what that means to be part of the Iowa State team.
Yeah. This is I don't know if I told you, this is our Big 12 episode that we're doing today.
Right.
So
Right.
we're running through the whole league. And I said this at one point in the episode, but I think a lot of people, like you talk about the SEC a lot, you talk about the Big 10 a lot. The Big 12 is so much deeper and better than a lot of people are giving it credit for,
Right.
especially this year. Like I've been watching a lot of Big 12 basketball, and there are some really talented teams. What makes you most excited as, we're nearing conference play now, we're getting into it. What do you love about the Big 12 and kind of the opportunities it provides you?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked, because that is a problem, with our league. There is that narrative that we're not the SEC, we're not, the Big Ten. So number one, you got to go out and win games, and we've had teams in our league that have won good big games. The other thing, you have to be teams that get deep into the tournament. You have to force the national narrative to talk about you because of what you do, and not just talk about it, but have proof. And that means you got to win games. But you're right. We have a lot of really good teams. Now, the challenge for our league is, do we have teams that can get to a Final Four? Like, we have a lot of teams that you don't want to see in your bracket. I think in the NCAA, and obviously TCU and Baylor and Oklahoma State, and there's so many teams in West Virginia that have played really well. And I think that's the odd part too, is when you have an unbalanced schedule in all these leagues, you really don't know what's going on. And non-conference basketball is kind of weird too, because you don't know who's playing whom. But I think our league is really, we have a lot of new young coaches. There's a lot of enthusiasm, and I think our league has already done really well. And hopefully that'll continue as we get into conference play here in a week.
Yeah. Well, we talked about everything that went well in the Iowa game. I need to know how many free throws you've made them shoot that game. How much have they been shooting free throws?
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, we went 9 for 20.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever coached in a game where our field goal percentage was higher than our free throw percentage. And we went into the game as an 80% free throw shooting team. So you hope it was an anomaly,
right.
but we didn't practice the day after the game. That was our mandatory day off. So we'll see how it goes this weekend. But hopefully it was just one bad day.
Yeah, we're not making them put up like 200 free throws
No.
today.
Well, we shoot. I mean, people that come to our practices are always like, I've never seen a team shoot so many free throws. Like, it's not that we haven't done it. It's just we had a really bad night, and sometimes good things are contagious, and sometimes bad things. And it's almost like once one person missed, and it was like the next one, the next one, the next one. So the good news is we can sort of joke about it because it didn't impact the game, but it made the game a lot closer than it probably should have been.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it was a great win, a really fun
Thank
game
you.
to watch, like I said, and obviously really looking forward to watching you guys this year.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate it, and good luck. Congrats on your graduation, and thanks for all the work you do. Doing a great job. Your dad would be very proud.
Thank you. All right, welcome back. Iowa State, man. I mean, they're off to a really hot start. They're still undefeated with a ranked win under their belt, and that's really, really important, right? Because their non-conference schedule wasn't a ton to write home about. This was the game, right? The Cyhawk rivalry game. This was the one, and they're able to come out with the win here. How impressed have you been with Iowa State so far?
I think the consistency of knowing that Audi Crooks is going to do her thing, right? But I think the addition of Jada Williams has really helped this squad because, I mean, a lot of teams will probably double or even triple Audi Crooks if they can. But when you have those perimeter shooters that can spread you out, and even like, okay, we know Audie's going to get 30, but then Brown gets 20. And then Jada Williams, 5 for 13, not bad, still giving 11 points, but 12 assists. Like when you have that kind of roles, like everybody doing their job, this team could be scary come March. Like this is one of the teams that I feel like can shock some people.
Yeah, and this isn't like the deepest team in the country.
Hmm.
They just have players who know their roles, can do it. Like
Hmm.
I think, and a lot of people were pointing this out the other day when the Iowa State game was on. Like Audi Crooks just checks herself into the game. Like she knows I'm good to go. I need a sec, but I'm back. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's like I think it was Rebecca Lobo who was talking and saying, I've never seen someone do that where you literally just check yourself back into the game. And I think that
Yeah.
just goes to show how important she is to this team,
Hmm.
and how much trust the coaching staff has in
For
her.
sure.
And also like she's been expanding her game a little bit. Her
Hmm.
range, like she can stretch the floor a little bit. She showed that off. Uh,
Hmm.
so I love watching her. I have loved watching her whole college career.
Hmm.
And I think like the potential is really high this year, which it's
Yeah.
interesting because they're pretty similar to the personnel they had last year, which was
Hmm.
a down year for them, right? But it's also
Yeah.
similar to the personnel they had 2 years ago, which was an up year. So it's just kind of about that expanding and growing and
Hmm.
learning roles and kind of what we just said.
No, I agree. I mean, Iowa State, I think they're the potential Big 12 champions right now. I think they're the front runner. And I think they caused some damage in March for sure.
I think so too. I think so too. And the biggest competitor in that battle for them, right?
Hmm.
TCU. And that's all because of Mark Campbell and his portal magic, right? And what he's able to get from the portal year after year now.
Hmm.
This is a completely different group than they had last year. Everyone graduated. He brings in a lot
Hmm.
of seniors who have something to prove, who have that chip on their shoulder, and turns them into like legit draft prospects. Obviously, Olivia Miles already was, but expanding her game, getting that defense going, right? And Marta Suarez, who we were able to have on the show a few weeks ago, who is a legit draft prospect, right?
Oh,
Uh,
for sure.
what do you thought about the Horned Frogs? They've had a couple good games. I'm waiting for a marquee matchup, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, like you said, good wins over Richmond, NC State. I would look to see, I don't know when they play Iowa State, but I think that would be a
That's
fun
the
one
game. That's
whenever,
the Big 12 game of the year.
whenever that game comes. But their height, their length, their versatility. We have a point guard like Olivia Miles who can be on triple double watch almost every single game. That just shows the effectiveness of, first of all, Mark Campbell and what he gets out of the portal and how he is. I would call him the portal king at this point. Like he has shown that he can recruit, and I think that's what making this TCU squad so good. Is not only does he recruit talent, but he recruits them in a way and allows them to gel so quickly to where it's all working.
And you know what? Not only is he the portal king, but he's also the king of getting international players who are really talented and underrated that I haven't even heard of that are
Right.
coming in and able to make an impact, maybe not day one, but they get there, right?
Hmm.
There's a couple freshmen they have on the roster who I'm really excited about. So their team looks really good. That's my first tier, right? Which is like legit contenders. These are my
Yeah.
two contenders for, winning the Big 12, for making a Final Four. I don't know if they're necessarily title contenders. In the tournament, but they're the top of the top, right? Creme de la creme. That's what
Right.
they're the creme de la creme of the league right now. And then below this, I have a very lonely tier. I have a lonely tier with just one team who is NCAA tournament lock. Like I think their spot is safe, um, kind of regardless of, I mean, not regardless of what happens, but all things considered, I don't think they're going to be put in a spot where they are not making the tournament. I don't know if they're going to host. A lot of people think they're in hosting position. I don't know
Hmm.
if they are. And that team is Baylor. I'm not fully sold yet. I love Talia Scott. She comes through day in, day out. Trust her. Trust Bella Fauntleroy. Like they have some pieces that I really like. But they've had some games where I have questioned. Um, I've just questioned them. I don't know. I'm not sold. Are you sold on the Baylor Bears yet?
Yeah, I think right now the name can kind of go ahead of the play at times. I mean, Baylor is a historically great program. So, like you said, they're going to make the tournament. Like, that's pretty much one of those locks. But I think what I would like to see more for them is more people getting involved offensively. Like, we know Talia Scott is an amazing scorer, amazing threat, but kind of like that supporting cast kind of helping more offensively because it's just like if she has an off night, can they still win? Can they still beat good teams without her having to score 20 plus? I think that's the question for Baylor.
Yeah, and I think we don't necessarily know that yet, right?
Hmm.
I think they're playing Iowa State like very soon. So I think that'll be a really telling matchup for us. to see what they can do. Like
Yeah.
I said, their non-conference slate, it hasn't been bad. Like you look at it on paper, preseason, their non-conference slate looked really good. You have Duke, you beat Duke, so everyone, puts you up on this pedestal a little bit. Turns out Duke isn't so great. So
Mm-hmm.
that win loses a little value for me just because it was a close game. I know it was in Paris, so a lot of factors go into that. But that game's kind of iffy to me. The Davidson game obviously was not their best performance, came
Mm-hmm.
through, but it was really tight. Um,
Yeah.
and even, that Iowa game, like I don't know, there were just a few performances I wasn't sold on yet, but I think they're a very good team. I'm excited to see what they do. And I think still, and I said this at the beginning, I undervalued them, and I do think they've proven that they're, in that top three conversation for
Mm-hmm.
the Big 12. Next up, uh, my next tier is NCAA tournament likely. Like I can see a world where maybe they could fall out, but it's an unlikely world for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously we haven't played a day of conference matchups quite yet, but based on what these teams have done in conference play and kind of my preseason expectations coupled with that, uh, it feels like these are teams that we're going to see in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think so. And I would like to pose this question to you. Out of the three that we say, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia, who do you think out of that three is the most likely? And what do you think those other two need to do in order to be into that category?
You know what? I think most likely to be like a lock for me is Oklahoma State. And it's just because I haven't seen enough of them yet that they're in that likely and not definite category.
Mm-hmm.
The St. John's loss hurt them in my eyes a little bit. St. John's
Mm-hmm.
is a good team. They've proven that, but it's a team that you should be like pretty much every day of the week with the expectations that they had coming into the season. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they can shoot the crap out of the ball. We've seen that. They can score the ball at a really high level against some lesser competition.
Right.
But I want to see them play someone that'll really give them a fight that they can come out and beat, right?
Yeah.
Like Jones put up a fight, and they won that fight, right? I want
Mm-hmm.
to see Oklahoma win a fight and close a game. That's a battle a little bit, and they have a lot of talent. They have a lot of new players on roster, so I think that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have the best potential of, being a lock even 2 weeks from now. I could be like,
Mm-hmm.
they're definitely a tournament team. Just need to see a little bit more.
Gotcha. Okay. And then for Texas Tech and West Virginia,
Yeah.
what do they need to be a lock for you?
I want to say Texas Tech is a lot. They're the most surprising team to me in the Big 12. They're still undefeated. They have a couple, solid wins under their belt. Nothing, exciting, but not a ton of teams. There are a
Mm-hmm.
bunch that don't. So I'm not, blaming them for it. But I think it's my preseason expectations that are holding me back. Like I'm not a full believer yet. I need to get on the train. But I've been impressed with what they've done. They've clearly improved, which I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think they were going to, I really truly did not think they were going to improve from last year.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did worked in that they got a bunch of, really talented, underrated, undervalued players from the portal, put them together and they've really meshed well. They've been able to
Mm-hmm.
close out games. They've dominated a bunch of them. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. It's me. It's a me problem that's holding me back right now. I need to see them in Big 12 play against, the competition they're really going to be fighting for those spots, I think.
Right. No, I
And then,
got
yeah, and then West Virginia. I would have honestly, like if we had done this, a few weeks ago, even I
you.
probably would have had them as a lock.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a challenging few weeks for the Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Obviously, we broke this down, the crazy unlikely win they had over Duke, who at
Mm-hmm.
that point was still a top 25 team and is no longer. But it's still a good, obviously, that's a great win to win with five
Mm-hmm.
in the second half.
Right.
That's a great win regardless of who you're playing. I don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
You drop a couple games after that. Ohio State, I don't blame you for. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's neutral court, like
Right.
fine by me. Villanova is a good team, but it's a team you should beat. And if I remember correctly, I don't have it in front of me. They beat them by double
Mm-hmm.
digits.
Yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't pretty. They are a very strong, like defensive-minded team. The offense is obviously what you worry about a little bit. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have a true like star who you can count on whenever you need her. They have a bunch of players who can step up in those moments. But you don't have like a Talia Scott, like we were just talking about, who you can give her the ball and she's gonna get it done.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. I agree. I think great minds think alike. I think if you really look at the tournament, how many teams they put into like each conference I'm not mistaken, I think last year, I think it was a tie between the Big Ten and SEC with like 11 schools or something like that. It was something high like that. But I think as the Big 12 continue to grow, they're going to be forced to put more teams from the Big 12 in a tournament. So it's really open field. Like after those first three, I think it's open field for those next 6 to 7 spots.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think those five are almost locks to me, just
Mm-hmm.
based on what we've seen. It would be hard for them not to make the tournament. I mean, we're
Right.
almost in conference play. They've done what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, there's still so much season ahead of us, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's never know what can happen when it comes to, knock on wood injury, like whatever it might be. We just don't know. So I think, those five are my ones that if I was a bracketologist, which I am not, those would be the five I would slot in as in the tournament right now for me, like set in stone, they're in. Uh,
Gotcha.
Next, I mean, there's a bunch of teams in this next tier that are fighting for a tournament spot, like more
Yeah.
than I thought there would be when I was kind of looking at it. I was like, well, yeah, like they could make a push. They could make a push to be in the tournament, which I think is good and just speaks to the depth of this league. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we have one, two, three, four, five, six teams in this category fighting for an NCAA tournament spot. You
Right.
just covered one of them, so I want to talk about them first, even though they're like kind of the middle of this tier for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about Arizona State because what Molly Miller has done there so far, they are 11-0.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, don't they're not sniffing a top 25 win right now, but that win over Penn State on the road, first road test, right? You were there for it.
Yes.
It was not close. Like really at
Mm-mm.
the point of the game, no one thought Penn State could win this, right? What,
Right.
what did you think of them?
I think you see statistics and numbers how they're holding opponents under 53 points and to single digit quarters and like they've been doing this consistently. But the eye test is always like what helps. And I think just seeing Arizona State's defense. Like I'm just a big defensive person. I understand that defense wins games. And the way that they were able to neutralize a Keone Miller, the way that they were able and
And
granted,
Grace.
yeah, Gracie Merkel, she did get hurt a little bit. She injured her knee a little bit during that game. So that could have played a role, but they held everyone to under their averages. And that's hard to do for a team that Penn State was averaging 85 points going into this
And they
game.
could shoot
So
the ball. Like they are
yeah,
a great shooting team and they could not make a shot.
they couldn't. And that was and Arizona State was just there. They were pressing the whole time. They were in their grill. I think Penn State ended up having 34 turnovers, I think, 34, 35.
I think that's 34. Yeah.
Too many, too many to win a game. But I think on the flip side of that, that was a really good road win. They have a tough road schedule coming. I think the next
Do.
4 or 5 of their games are on the road
Yeah.
and against high level competition. And I look forward to see how they play consistently on the road because no, you'll get hyped for your first like kind of big game,
Yeah.
but can they keep it up over the course of the year? And I think that's my question mark.
Yeah, and I said to someone on Twitter, they asked me if I thought they'd go undefeated through this stretch, and I said I didn't think so. I think they'll drop one of these three that included Penn State, so we're one down from me being wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
it's Penn State, Oregon State, Gonzaga, if I'm remembering. I
Mm-hmm.
think Gonzaga can give them some trouble.
Yeah.
They're a really good mid-major team, but I've been really, really impressed. Like they have far exceeded my expectations for what I thought they would do. And I know, maybe I'm not crapping on their schedule, but whatever. But they played a really good UNLV team.
Yeah.
That's a good win. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and Penn State is a good road win for them. So I've
Right.
been really impressed. They pulled through in those moments. They have a bunch of underrated kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Molly Miller's got them, whipped into shape. Like they're pulling it off. They're pulling it together. Like you said, the defense. The only thing that concerned me in that last game, and I think it was mostly towards the end, but they also had 30 turnovers, so you got to take care of the ball a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed, and like as we're talking about it, the Big 12 is just so open. Like there is
Mm-hmm.
a real possibility that Molly Miller could make the NCAA tournament in her first year at Arizona State. Like
And that would be crazy.
yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility for me. We'll see, like you said, how they do through this next stretch because
Mhm.
that's tough. It's 5 out of their next 6 games are on the road. That's a
Yeah,
lot. That's a
that's a
lot
lot.
of time next. So we'll see how that goes.
Mhm.
But to get back to the tier, the team that's actually on the top of this tier for me right now is BYU. And that is kind of all reliant on one player who we need to come back from injury, and that's Delaney Gibb. And she is such a big part of what this team does. She had a
Mhm.
phenomenal freshman campaign. She had a great start to this season. I don't have any update on when she's coming back, but she's such a big part of this group.
Mhm.
And what they were able to do even without her when they played Vanderbilt, like they kept up with a really good ranked Vanderbilt team without her. So imagine if she was in the game, right?
Mhm.
Uh, They have a lot of talent. They got a really good transfer. They have freshmen that no one's talking about, and you need to talk about more. Olivia Hamlin, Sydney
Mhm.
Bennett, like they're really, really talented kids. And I think Lee has done a really good job there in his first year.
Yeah, I think injuries are always that you can't, it's inevitable, right? But I would like to see when she does come back, how does she, is it a quick adjustment? She just fits right into it? Or it's like they've been playing without her and then maybe a kind of step back. Sometimes you never know until it actually happens, but hopefully she's come back soon and we can really see what this BYU team is.
Yeah. The next team on the list for me is the one that I am the most confused about. Like I'm dumbfounded when it comes to talking about this team, and we've talked about them before
Mm-hmm.
in various different ways. We've been in different moods about this team, and we've discussed them. And I'm still like I feel the same way I did on November 3rd. I do not know what to make of Kansas State. Genesis, tell me what to make of them. What do I make of Kansas State?
I think Kansas State is one of those teams. I think they're going to have a really good ranked win this year in the Big 12. I think they just have it to where they're going to catch somebody by surprise. But I think what's going to hurt them is how inconsistent they are with the games they're supposed to win. And I think when it comes to the tournament, you can have a great win, but if you have three bad losses, it will kind of compromise that great win. I think they need to find more of a consistency. Like we know their coaching staff is a great coaching staff, great head coach, proven that they're a winning program. But I think with just these pieces, they have to learn how to be more consistent.
They're very new. It's a new team.
Mm-hmm.
You can expect it to take time.
Mm-hmm.
But the inconsistency is just confusing to me because you go on a neutral court and you beat a ranked Ole Miss team. Very
Mm-hmm.
impressive stuff. But before that, you had some weird losses. After that, you have a home loss to San Diego State, who's not a bad team, but just that's a team you should win. Like you should win that,
No.
right? And they lost by double digits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to make of them. I like their freshmen a lot, and
Yeah.
freshmen are going to be freshmen. Like they're going to have their moments.
Right.
And kind of like you said about that consistency piece, even if they do make the NCAA tournament, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't be off one day and on the other. Like
Mm-hmm.
you need, and we've preached this, you need consistency when you're in the NCAA tournament. So that's what worries me the most about this team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have the talent. I just don't know if this year is their year. And I still think they're fighting for that tournament spot. Like you said, we've seen they can force an upset. I'm sure they'll do
Right.
it again. Um, I really like it. They blow my mind in terms of I have no words. I don't know how to feel. Uh, we talked about Arizona State. They were next. Colorado is a team that I saw this year. And I
Mm-hmm.
saw them and I was really impressed with them. And then they've been a little bit lackluster since. I believe they had a good win, maybe
Mm-hmm.
a decent one. But since then, I just haven't been quite as impressed as I was when I saw them at Louisville and what they were able to do then to a really good Louisville team. Like I don't have a ton, like they have some newness too. I don't have a ton to say about them. I think they're in the fight for a tournament spot,
Mm-hmm.
still in that realm of need to see some more from them. That's where I'm
Well,
at.
I would even ask you this with the bottom three teams that we have and could put up a fight to get in the tournament: Colorado, Utah, Kansas. If there's one more spot left, which three makes it?
I'd give it to Kansas based on if Julia Davis comes back, if she's healthy, because they
Mm,
started the season with her, and oh my God, was she impressive? She was.
right.
They beat a very good Minnesota team.
Mm-hmm.
She can score the ball at a high level. She doesn't play like a freshman, but she's been out and they've been suffering a lot because of
Yeah.
it. Lost some games that I know they would win if they had her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if assuming she comes back this season, I hope the committee looks at that stretch where she was not playing and wasn't able to play, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if she comes back, that's who I would pick at this moment to make the
Okay.
because I think I think they can play with those teams.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, Utah, they're both teams I just need to see more from. Like
Yeah.
they're not like they're not in they're kind of in that middle range to me and kind of the void of like okay, let's get Big 10 or Big 12 play started just so
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of understand where you stand a little bit. I need more litmus tests if that
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. And great, good for us. We'll have that when Big 12 season comes. We'll definitely be following that. And let's see if you're right. When we come to March Madness, let's see.
we'll see. Last tier, the rebuilding tier, which two of these teams, I think, yeah, two of them have new head coaches. So kind of expected to be in that realm.
Mhm.
BYU, Arizona State, the outliers here. They've done a great job. These two teams expected to be here. The other two, they got some work to do.
Yeah.
One of them I think actually got better this year. The other one I think got worse. If
Mm.
I don't know, like they're just yeah. Starting my list off, UCF is the first team in that rebuilding range,
Mhm.
and I do think they got better this year. I do. I just think in in the current state we're in with so much parity, it's
Yeah.
tough for them to compete in the Big 12.
Right.
But I
And I
do think
think,
they're I do think they're better. They had a win over
mhm.
Rice, which was good. It was by 1 point, but still like a very good
Mhm.
win. And I think they'll be better next year. I think like they have a good freshman coming in Cameron Banks, who's actually from Indiana, so I've watched her
Mhm.
bunch. Really talented kid. So I think the trajectory is like slightly up, but
Mhm.
it's just another rough year for them.
Yeah, I think it's an adjustment. I mean, they just came to the Big 12. They've been used to being a mid-major and in a less competitive conference. I think as they get more used to the systems and the playing styles, I think I give maybe 1 to 2, maybe possibly even 3 years before they really start becoming a competitor.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think in this like day and age with the portal, it can be even quicker with that, right?
Yeah.
To get the right pieces from there, then you're set. But this, this isn't a year where I think they're in kind of the postseason conversation.
No.
Next up, Arizona. I'm repping today. My dad went there. I got a Big 12 episode. I got to rep the Big 12. They're rebuilding. This is year one under Becky Burke. They're expected to rebuild. She got the job really late, had to get in the portal really late. I actually got some really talented players. It
Mhm.
just has been a rough start for them. And Michaela Purdue has been a really bright spot for me. Um, but like this is just it kind of is what it is. Like they're not gonna make the tournament. I don't think. I'd be shocked if they did. But like there's some bright side. I love Becky Burke's energy. I love what she's doing with the program. It's just gonna take a little while.
Right. So
Yeah.
we got Arizona, we got UCF. So the last Houston and Cincinnati.
Yes. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Houston's in a similar spot as Arizona.
Mhm.
Can't really fault him. New head coach, Matthew Mitchell. He actually hadn't coached for a few years. He'd been at Kentucky, took a few years off. I
Mhm.
thought it was a really good hire. I think again, it'll just take time. Like the same, I know
Right.
it's like the same excuse, but I just think it's tough to come into to a power league, be able to recruit out of the portal right away. Uh,
Right.
but I think like he'll do a good job. I think it'll just take a little bit there.
Mhm.
Cincinnati has been the one that I've been disappointed with what I've seen from them. I thought they would do better this year. Obviously, I thought they would have Alexander though, so that's
Yeah.
kind of a what's I keep trying to use these terms, a wrench in the some whatever term I'm trying to say. They don't have Alexander, who was supposed to be kind of the cornerstone of this program this year, like really talented freshman, homegrown kid. And
Yeah.
she has been out the entire season. We don't know when she's coming back. They only have three Division 1 wins this year. They're 3-6 with some
Mhm.
not good losses behind them. Uh,
Mhm.
and I just don't see a world in which it gets better without D. Alexander right now. It's just not working. But when she comes back, there's hope. They do like they have talented players. They have good freshmen. It's just tough. Like I said, like the Big 12 is a tough league this year. It is. They just, yeah, they have been on the struggle bus lately. So they're in my rebuilding phase as well. And that kind of covers the Big 12 and where they're at like right now. This is not necessarily a projection in terms of like where they'll finish in the Big 12 in order, but kind of my tiers of what I have evaluated so far. Like, is there any team that you think like I'm totally off on, like that could be in a different tier?
I think with Arizona State, like I said, just the eye test.
Okay.
Watching how they played against Penn State. Now, I'm not really sold either,
Yeah.
but I think they might be. And in the storyline, first year coach, have a career year to end that with a opportunity to go dancing. I think just that for the conference, first of all, and then for the program. I don't know. I think I actually have them making the tournament right now, but this three
You
game stretch is
would
what's
you
going to
put
really
him would you put him in tournament lock or tournament likely?
tournament likely.
Okay.
I,
I like it. No, I like that take. I think I'm maybe more hesitant than other people on them, and that's just like solely due to the strength of schedule piece of it. Uh, and that's where I differ. Like I need to see it to believe it a little bit more.
Mhm.
Uh, But I like what they're doing. Like I watched that whole game. I really like what they're doing over there. I thought they did a really good job on Penn State, which
Mhm.
I was impressed. It's just that Penn State isn't the same, caliber of team you're going to face in the top of the Big 12, right? So I think
Right. Yeah.
even against like one of these teams, other teams that are fighting for a tournament spot, like I think those are even the most important games for them. It's not
Exactly.
necessarily like you're not expected to beat Iowa State or TCU, but if you
Hmm.
put up wins against BYU, Colorado, even like a West Virginia, like that's huge in year one. Uh,
Yeah.
so I think that'll be really interesting. We'll see what winds up happening. Obviously, it's a long ways away, but but conference play is not. It's coming up real shortly here, and that's where we stand now. So we'll be back next week to talk through all things women's college basketball. And thanks for listening.